Hi, I'm Samantha Battleson, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on Screencastify and its uses in your classroom. So first, let's talk about how we can use Screencastify. You can use it to do flipped classroom instruction. That's where you have the students get the information download basically outside of class. You could videotape the content, and it could be their homework to go home, watch the video, and then the actual application of the content happens within the classroom versus the other way where we have direct instruction during class and then the kids are struggling through the assignment at home. Another use for Screencastify would be an instructional video. So basically the same idea, but you record yourself giving the directions for the assignment. That way if any students are absent or they forget what they're supposed to be doing, they can just go back to that video and view it. If you have a classroom website, that'd be a good place to post it. If you have Skywords, you can send out the link to the video. If you have a substitute, this is another option for an instruction video. Use one of those instructional videos as your sub-assignment, so it's like you are actually in the classroom. Students can also use Screencastify to demonstrate their learning. An assignment that you could do with that is have them present a newscast style. You could do this with books. You could do this with research. The students give a newscast on the information that they have learned. Or if you're doing it book-based, they can do a newscast about events that have happened in the book. You can also use Screencastify for the students to do video presentations. And one thing that I do like about Screencastify that not all of the screencasting recorders do is that Screencastify allows you to have the faces along with what's happening on the computer screen. You can also have your students do a how-to video. So let's say you were teaching an equation. They have to explain and show the equation in their screencasting. If you have access to iPads, they can write on the screen to show how they're working through that equation and explain it. Then also book reviews or trailers, they can put those together through Screencastify also. A lot of online courses are using screencasting technology to do that initial instruction, to give the directions, because there is not that face-to-face interaction with the professor or the teacher. Here's an example of using a screencaster for grading, and this is something that we have been wanting to do in our district. So this is not mine.
This is a great poem. This is probably the best I've seen this year.
I'm not going to play all the way through this. I'll link my presentation in this video so that you can use it. But essentially it's the teacher gets the assignment from the student and then they go through that assignment verbally. Instead of doing written feedback, you record a screencast for each student, which I think is a really great way for kids to get feedback, and it's a little bit more fun than getting the red ink all over the page. Okay, so next are curriculum implications. In English Language Arts, I already said you could do this with book reviews, research project instructions. We've all been there. You're teaching a research project, everything's building on it, and a kid's absent one day. This would be a great way for that kid to not miss the material. You won't be running around putting out fires. Also, because research requires such heavy thinking, some students do struggle to remember what the directions even were in the first place. So if you post it to your classroom, they ask you a question, hey, that's in my screencast, that's in my video that I posted, why don't you go back and look at that? In math, I already talked about the equations, so you can go through and show how to solve an equation. In science, research presentations, so if they're researching a scientist or something along those lines, it would be a lot more fun to do a lab report through video than having to write out a 20-page lab report. Social studies, newscasts over current events. I know that's something our social studies department requires of their students. And then history fair parameters, we do a large history fair that could upload screencasts of each of the types of entries, giving directions, making sure the students follow all of those. In fine arts, you could do art critiques, have the students pull up images and verbally critique the author's work or the artist's work. You could also have performance recordings if you're doing theater arts and do the feedback through a screencast. In languages other than English, how to conjugate, cultural presentations, things like that. Okay, so let's get into how to use Screencastify. So it's very easy to use. You can click on For School and add it to your Chrome. It is an extension for Chrome, so if you're not in a Google district, Screencastify may not be your best option. I'm actually using Screencast-O-Matic to do this video. Let me click on this real quick. Might take us a minute. And while that is going, down here you can see the different features that they have. It allows a little bit more editing. Here we go. Okay, so this is the link up here. It's this arrow with the video. So I can click on it. Sign in with Google. I have a school district Google Drive that I'm going to be using. And the good thing about Screencastify is all the videos are automatically recorded to or saved to your Google Drive. You need to let it into everything. Allow that, allow. Okay, I'm an educator, grade school. They have useful how-to videos, everything like that. Shows you how to use it. I'll click up here. So up here I can, okay. So I can do the desktop. I can also do webcam, which it's not picking up. There it is. So if I click on record, it might show me. I'm trying to get it to show me. Okay, I don't know who that guy is.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so you can get your face in there also. I'm going to stop that because I really don't want to record my face right now. You also do the desktop, and then another thing about, okay. So you can get your face in Screencastify that I really like is you can select just one browser tab. You saw I have so many open up here. So once you have your video, it shows up, it will upload it to your Google Drive, tell you how long it is, how big it is, all of these things. You allow people to comment, all of that. So if you wanted to make it a collaborative video, that is an option. Okay, so that was a quick download on Screencastify and how to use it in your classroom.